Hello to anybody that's out there. Trying to test out some new Streamlabs settings. Why am I not getting any audio? Why the hell? Skip. Freaking YouTube. Traffic lights. Hey, Coob, what's going on, man? I'm just trying to test out a few settings or whatever. Maybe do a little bit of live charting or whatever, and just kind of play around. Look at the CME stuff. Can you hear me? Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Let's see. And YouTube just told me I'm a bot. I'm live streaming, but it just told me I'm a bot. It's like, why does it? Yeah, chillaxing on a Sunday. Yeah. Okay, cool, man. Um, but yeah, I just had some music going, and all of a sudden it's gone because YouTube thinks that I'm a robot. So I gotta get through that. Let's see. But I've been playing with my chart setups and playing with some tips and tricks, and thought I wanted to think I want to get back to doing some of that also because that was the original intention of my channel, not just to be 100% bite owl related. Crosswalk. Like I had changed the font for the people chatting in the screen. The other thing, I think I figured out why on chat replays that there's not a chat anymore. So this is just kind of the test to let things run and see if whenever it's done, if the chat replay is there. Let's try this again. Non. So what else you doing? Are you watching the race or anything like that, or that one's 13 minutes? That's 10 hours. 10 hours. That's 2 hours. Give me a minute. Crosswalk. Oh, yeah, that had a car in it. Car, motorcycle. That's a car. That's a car. Don't see any more cars. Verify. About time. Yeah, the NASCAR race. I didn't know if you were in a NASCAR at all. While it's primarily me and you, I'm gonna hit a couple buttons. So um, kind of want to see what comes up because it looks like the chat box is still a lot smaller than I wanted it to be. I changed the font on it. Um, Appearance, merch, global, all widgets, chat box. Oh, I didn't save the settings. Oh, that's why. Okay. So let's do this right here. We're gonna show the messages a little bit longer. Save settings. All right. Let's see if that makes a difference. Crypto NASCAR bot owl. Like that's your entire life right now. Hey, yeah, see, okay, so that text got a little bit. Hey, Coob, you're on your phone. How big do you have the chat box off to the right? Or what about the chat in the text? Help me fine tune that for people that's on the phone. Which way do you do it, or what's best? And welcome, Alpha. What about things that involve ammo? Let's put it that way. Wow, there's a huge lag between the time that everybody types something and the time that it comes up in the chat. You're on your phone, it's vertical, very clear to see. Yeah. I've been working on making that font bigger, and I just got that done today. What's my thought on XRP? Um, Whenever I first got into crypto, works horizontally and chats on the left. When I first got into crypto a little over a year ago, um, I thought the future was bright for XRP. I think that I think that XRP may, I'm not saying will, these are just my thoughts and opinions. Yeah, see, I kind of like. I think that bigger text works a little bit better. Um, I think that XRP can be the bridge from the current financial system to a new financial system. Do I think that it's going to change the world like a lot of cryptocurrency people believe? No, it's it's the same thing, but it's a faster, easier way of doing it. If you know anything about finances, you know right now that all money transfers go through what's called the SWIFT network. In the Swift network, whenever let's say you go to a store and you create a return on your credit card, and this is the funny part. Whenever you create a return on your credit card and they say it may take 3 to 5 days for that to process, that is because of the Swift network, where the money goes through. I think, I can't remember the exact number, but I want to say it's north of, let's just say it's trillions of dollars at any given one point in time of money that is locked up into the Swift network. So if XRP can make it where it doesn't take 3 to 5 days for you to get a refund, then I'm all for it. But a lot of that technology that those companies will use will actually come from the Ripple Foundation. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to use XRP to do it. And I don't like the fact that they constantly release and dump XRP on the market. What value does XRP add? In your opinion, none. Why does a crypto or a blockchain need to be created? That's what I was just saying, actually, as far as what value does XRP itself add, really, unless it's just the sort of like Litecoin is the test bed for Bitcoin. If XRP is the test bed for the Ripple network, it hasn't really moved in decades. Why does a crypto or a blockchain need to be created? It's a good question. Why does anything need to be created? I mean, if you don't believe in the technology, I know then you're here solely to trade it and make money. So what does it matter what the need of it is if you're going to just try to make money off of it? Mauricio, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Banks don't have to use XRP. Western Union doesn't have to use XRP, or whoever they have that partnership with. Kuva, hold on, I gotta show your message there. Yeah, the banks can do it themselves if they want to. But the banks wouldn't have even known or thought or whatever to do all this without the various test beds from crypto. The crypto market is the wild, wild west, and it's the proving ground for the newer technologies that are up and coming that various governments, in my opinion, that various governments and various businesses may use in the future. Yeah. Thing about JPM coin, and I haven't looked at it. I didn't know that it existed, but what happened with it? Did people adopt it? Did they use it? And technically, all your money's in a digital form anyway. When's the last time you saw a paycheck? Or is it just a employer giving you credits to your bank account? and then you go shopping and you transfer those credits via your card that you have in your back pocket. There is a high probability of that, Coob. I could see that. You might even want to say that 2017 was the bubble. But ultimately, out of the dot-com bubble, you got the FANG companies, you got Facebook, you got Amazon, you got Google, Netflix. I mean, look what Netflix did to Blockbuster. Hey, Carl, what's going on, man? Didn't know if you're still alive. How's that weather over there? How do you subscribe to this? If you wanted to subscribe, you would just look down underneath the uh, chat window and hit the red subscribe button. And if you subscribe, that'll test something that I'm trying to test. I changed around the icons and the tones and all that stuff. Yeah, BTC isn't dipping that much. I mean, I'm on a higher time frame chart right now. 93.49. Yeah, she's taking a little dip. It broke that little trend line that I had right here. This was just for me to see what was going on. I'm wanting to see if it'll come back down to the 618. Really, honestly, I don't think that any of us are late to the pie. There's so many new technologies that are coming out. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to get on and kind of just do a hangout. Lyle Craig, did you figure out how to subscribe? 9300 is a very, very strong support. As a matter of fact, you see this, if you look on my chart, you'll see this magenta line here. And the way I just redid this chart, let me get my fibs out of the way. Let's hide my fibs. That was a fun part, figuring out how to get all those back. 618's a fib level, Carl. But if I get all my fibs out of the way, this new chart that I've been working on. Let's see. Let's get rid of that one. And let's get rid of this one. If you look, we have definitely been in somewhat of an upward channel. This diagonal magenta line is a 10-year long line that we keep getting rejected by, or when we get on top of it, it shows as support. But all through this, we were getting rejected by it. This green diagonal line is from back in March. It caught the top of that. It catches the top of that. Caught this as support. It's support right here. It's support once again. So my honest belief or opinion right now is that if we can break 9300, we still might bounce off of this green line right here. And that's, and that's something that I'm saying, about the crypto markets is, there are diamonds out here. Just you watch my video on Baidu, really good research. You wouldn't have been able to find those things. Yeah, and I'm gonna do a little bit more on Baidu, but I'm also gonna do a little bit more on a lot of other things. I want to do videos on what is DeFi in general, why Baidu, why companies like Celsius Network, why Cosmos and Kava, um, just a little bit of everything. But as I was saying, I mean, we're kind of caught in here. So my belief right now is even if we go down, which all the indicators are giving mixed signals, that we could still bounce off this green line and possibly still get rejected up here at this magenta line. funny thing, funny thing about Baidu, I was in their Telegram and I was asking a lot of questions the other day, and actually got banned from their Telegram. But I got back in, so it's all good. But that's also why I say you bought into the Celsius network, ICO, been in an instant drawdown ever since. Yeah, I do know that I don't know the Cell token personally. I do know that Celsius is one of the biggest lenders. No, don't do buy out because you invested heavily, and I'm starting. If you have enough investment in it to be scared, then you invested too much. Hey Carl, thank you very much. Yeah, if you're on a phone or something, it might do that. But yeah, there's a lot of different DeFi options out there, and I mean Maker DAO. You know, a lot of people don't understand what Maker DAI is. They just think about DAI as the stable coin. Um, but there's a whole DeFi process that goes along with that. Hey, Lyle, or Lyle, or however your name is, if you go to the end of any of my videos also, and you see my icon, you will on at the end of all my videos, whenever you see the little radioactive icon, if you click that, that's an opportunity to subscribe also. You have a couple DeFi plays with token sets. Yeah, and that's just kind of, for me, that's the loose gamble. And honestly, the way it's looking, Binance Chain is looking to try to be uh, central in a lot of that, using the BNB token as collateral. So that's kind of that's more of a trustless system as opposed to, say, Tether, which Tether is not. They want to say it's trustless, but who really trusts Tether? When have you seen an audit on Tether? Anything that can just be printed out of thin air, it's no better than the US dollar. Yeah, like I said, awesome. Let's see if it pops up on my screen. So like I said, that is one thing I am testing on my OBS stuff. I even I think I added a tip jar and all that other stuff, so we'll see if any of that works. I don't know if anybody can see super chat or any of that. But anyway, let me pop up the CME chart since CME should have closed or should have opened back up. Let's see let's get rid of that. And for anybody that doesn't know, whenever you go to CME, if you look right now, you know, everybody's always looking for CME gaps, and you know, they want to know why they don't see a CME gap. Yeah. Okay, so 12. It still hasn't popped up yet. I guess we still got like 12 minutes. But you will never see 94.65. Yeah. You will never see the CME gap unless you go over to regular candles. And this was something else that I just noticed in doing some of this new charting stuff. If you notice, my regular candles are a different color from my Heikin-Ashi candles. So it is a cool thing that you can do. That way you know which candles that you're on. Just have a different color code for each one. Also, something that I did between the two, and I still need to do it on this one, is like the wicks. Matter of fact, let me do it on this one. The wicks settings. Let's make those wicks blue and bright. Let's make these white, a little brighter. But now, by doing that, which blue do I want? I can get a little contrast on the candles, and I can see, you know, in essence, all of this white on this bearish candle is bullish action. So now my wick on my candles, you know, granted it kind of messes up the other side of this, but whenever you see a big blue wick, you know that's bearish action. You see a big white wick, you know that's bullish action, even though it's on a yeah, you have to be on regular candles. So we got about 10 minutes before that pops in. I'm just kind of curious what that price action that's going to do. Excuse me. Well, since the subscription didn't come in for I'm just going to say Lyle. That's easy for me. I don't know if it's Lyle or Lyle. Like Lyel. If you were to convert them out to increase your position, one coin for the bull run, which coin? Ada. Cardano. That's just because I think that with what they're getting ready to release, that it's gonna pop off. So many people have been waiting for so long, and I'm sure there's a lot of people sitting on the sidelines. You know, with the release of the dataless wallet, the mainnet dataless wallet. As a matter of fact, I barely have any right now, but I did just download the wallet. I transferred some ADA the other day in the mainnet wallet, and it was amazing how fast it was. But as you can see, this is the dataless mainnet wallet right here. I think I got like 47 ADA. Lyle, okay. It actually downloads the entire network onto your wallet. You can stake into staking pools right from your wallet. But honestly, Mauricio, another thought of mine, and it doesn't matter if you believe in the projects or not. It doesn't matter if you consider the projects crap or not. Sounds like I'm talking about XRP. No, I think there's huge differences between XRP and ADA. But in my mind, it does not matter what you believe in. If you think about people and people's psychology and what people are going to do. Like, go back, I don't know how long all of y'all have been in crypto, and before I started understanding crypto, and whenever I first heard about crypto, I heard that the price of Bitcoin was, you know, 15,000, 16,000. Might have even been 20,000 the first time that I ever heard about it. I'll show you here in a minute, and it's not a beta wallet. It's the wallet. It's no longer beta. It is the mainnet wallet. But I'll show you here in a minute where to go and how to get to it. As a matter of fact, let me get my notebook so that I can write this stuff down in case we do stuff like that, and I can link it in the bottom of the chat when we're done. Um, but the point that I was trying to get to is, if you think about the general masses when they start coming into crypto, I think a big portion of them will come in through the likes of um, Coinbase, or will come in through the likes of Bitpanda. I've had some recent dealings with Bitpanda. Um, and the coins that are on Binance US or on Coinbase or on Gemini or on Kraken, and Gemini and Kraken's probably getting to the extremes of it, to the outer extremes. I would say 90% of new people know about or have heard about or will hear about Coinbase. So any coin that's on Coinbase, if we hit a new bull market where everything goes parabolic and there's a lot of FOMO, uh, I think anything that's on those wallets stands the best chance of going up. And that's just my personal opinion. It doesn't even matter what the project's about. So on there, you've got XRP, you've got OMG, you've got Ox, uh, you've got, I don't know, 15, 20 different things that 30%, and USA represents 30% of the crypto market. So you take USA's 30%, and then there's a Coinbase UK and probably some other ones for around the world. If it's one of the number one onboarding places, yeah, yeah. Well, I wished I would have heard about it way back then. And I'm sure that I'm sure now that they look back and realize that they bought stuff on Silk Road for €8, they're kind of wishing that they would have found another way to buy whatever they were buying on Silk Road. I mean, yeah, I did hear about Bitcoin back then, but who really paid any attention to it? Development and Get past the and so I know. Development and usage, there is no comparison. It's not even close. Yeah, ETH is the big dog on the block. And for example, any company that has forked off and tried to make another Bitcoin or another version of Bitcoin or something Bitcoin blockchain based has not achieved what Bitcoin has. Exactly, Mauricio. And it's not like like it's any easier. I mean, it is easier now, but it's still complex for people that are not tech savvy. Yeah, you can go on things like eToro or on Robinhood or whatever, and trade against the price of Bitcoin. Or you can go to Cash App and you can even buy Bitcoin, but it stays in Cash App. But a lot of people don't realize how to get it out of Cash App. Right now, if you want to think about mining, don't even it's no sense. Don't even think about it. Come on, what we got? We got 2 more minutes till CME hits. And everybody that's in here, thank you for popping in or whatnot. Maybe if I'm lucky, I'll get a bunch of new subscribers today and push past 200. I'm up to 160 something now. Actually, it doesn't show me in this screen. All right, I gotta run some tests since nobody's subscribed or donating. Let's see, where do I test at? I forgot. Alert box. On ETH, I honestly don't know, but ETH is also a great UK use case. Not a great use case, a great example of the growing pains. And that nobody really donated $88. That was me running a test. I just wanted to see what would happen. I haven't dove into ETH enough and ETH 2.0 enough to know. Um, there is a belief out there that ETH is like one market cycle behind Bitcoin, and maybe ETH will be worth 20,000 in the next bull run. Um, but ETH, when Vitalik first came out, he was also super young. I bet you if I did a search right now, I can find people calling ETH a scam now and even back then. Actually, everybody there's people that still call Bitcoin a scam or a Ponzi scheme. And it's hard for me to call something a Ponzi or a scam that now institutions are interested in. I'm gonna have to turn off my cuss word filters, Coob. You keep getting censored, man. Hold on. Let's go back. Let's go back and look at some of your stuff. Show and show. Let's see. Yeah, it's the congestion that's on ETH, and that's where some of these other coins are possibly going to come into play. Let's see. Here's the plain and simple truth with Cardano. Okay, never mind. That was there. That's Fugazi. It's fairy dust, and in 3 years you're accumulating at 3,500. Yeah. Well, I get it might be something I have in the filters on the stream chat. So every time you say shit, it filters you out. And if I don't have that screen up to see it, let's see, where can I change that? Profanity. Yeah, see, I got that list enabled, but it says replace bad words with. It's supposed to replace them. Oh, okay. Let's try this. Nah, man, I just changed the setting, and this is that's one reason why I'm doing this live stream. It's some of the stuff that I'm trying to tweak or whatnot. I just saved a setting, and when it goes through, we'll see here in a minute. You know, being new to live streaming and stuff like that, these are just part of the growing pains. But yeah, that 9,300. Oh, and I was trying to tell y'all about the lines that I have on my charts. And Telegram's being slow about. I'm sorry, Streamlabs is being slow about trying to save the settings. So I went in and I did a lot of. I did some support and resistance work. And I kind of color coded the support and resistances so I know what they are, where they come from, and I still gotta change some of my brightnesses and stuff like that. But basically, yellow or gold is the yearly support levels, and as you can see, I have several of them. But I did yellow as a yearly support and resistance level. And actually, you can see that even when we get through 10.5, 13.880 is going to be a very tough level. It's because of idiots like BitConnect and scammers around the globe that people think, yeah. So CME, which crypto is that? CME trades Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin futures. And there's always little gaps and stuff like that that tend to get filled. But anyway, yellow, the way I color coded this, yellow is yearly support and resistances. The gray is kind of like a quartz or granite color, like a quartz. So I went with gray for quarterly levels and magenta for monthly levels, so that I would just be able to see those various levels. And actually, well, that's another 2 hours. I won't still be on stream. The daily will close also. And here's another thing that is interesting as far as where we're at in price action. If you look here on the 3-hour chart, this is a 200 simple moving average, you can see price has been getting rejected by this 200 simple moving average. And on the 6 hour, it's the 100 simple that seems to be holding us down. What is that purple line there? Oh, it's just two lines mixing. All right, CME should be open. Let's go take a look at it. Still not showing up on the charts yet. And I updated my chart so that it wouldn't be delayed, but it might be delayed by about 10 or 15 minutes. And the reason that I look at the CME is it said that those are the pro traders. I'm still debating on whether or not they really have a true effect on Bitcoin. I think it's more of a, with the gaps and stuff like that, it's more of a self-fulfilling prophecy. But while I'm on this chart, I'll show y'all some interesting stuff about CME gaps. Let's get rid of the moving averages. There is a gap right there. There's a gap right here in the 7,600 range. It depends on which fib that I'm using. I have several different fibs. I'll turn them back on in a minute. But anyway, there's a gap right here at 7,600, and also, you know, a lot of people don't talk about that 7,600 gap, but it's definitely there. There's also a gap that a lot of people, the only person that talks about it every once in a great while is Crown. There's also a gap right, let's see, 36. I gotta find it. It's a tough little booger to see. Oh, right here. People say this is a gap. Right here at this 3,600 price, and that is showing on a daily. If you take the time frame down a little bit, where'd it go? Let's see, December. It's back here. Where'd it go? Gotta find it again. 3,600. Should be right in here somewhere. There. Right there. There's a gap right there. Yeah, but they don't always fill or have to fill. Exactly. They don't. But it's always good to know. It's always good to know that they exist and keep it in the back of your head. To be honest with you, I mean, what would it hurt if you have some extra resources just to deploy some purchase orders right at those levels, just in case? Daily. All right, looks like CME is on. And here's another funny thing about CME. All right, so if you look at it here, I mean, are we gonna call this a gap right here? But if you drop down in time frames, it's an obvious gap. And the lower you come down in times, the more obvious the gap becomes. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it off. I'm going to turn my magnet off. just so that I know that that gap is there. So am I expecting the next gap to be bullish? It's not. It's not that I expect it to be bullish or bearish. It's just that you need to keep it in the back of your head to know that that gap is there. And there is there's a differential in price also. If you look over here, um, right now, actually it's pretty close right now. Sometimes this difference between the CME price and between even this Coinbase price could be upwards of $100. Oh, there's a big bullish gap that's been out there for over a year now. There's one right here. 11.2. So let's go look at some indicators real quick and see if we can figure anything out. Oh, Koob, you were asking about my 618. Give me a second to turn all these fibs back on. That should be all of them. So I have two different fibs on this chart. One of them is for a longer term outlook of Bitcoin. And as you can see on this particular one, the 13,880 top actually came out. I have to look at a different chart. But anyway, it came out as the 786. I thought it was up here somewhere. But it came out as a 786 on this particular fib. And what I do, I actually run some trend-based Fibonacci's, okay, which actually use 3 points of price action. It uses 3 points of price action. This one is slightly off. I have to go in and play with them just a little bit. But it uses 3 points of price action. So if you go low, high, low, that gives you an uptrending fib. And this fib has been good, and price has respected the green fib. You can see right here where it's predicted, or where there was a lot of support on that particular fib. Price stopped there. We broke through it. We dropped back down. And same thing with my red fibs or whatever. Even right here, it hit the 618 on the downtrending fib. Whenever this price action came back and recovered, it started respecting these fib lines more. But in my local fibs, in my smaller time frames, you were asking me about the 618. On the downtrending fib, I have a 618 at 92.2675, and the up side, if we were in an uptrend, is at 96.06. Hey, thank you for showing up, Lyle. To be honest with you, I've never looked at Zilla or DGB. I think that's Digibyte or Zakilla or But maybe we can look and figure something out. Let me close this object tree. Let me open this up. And here's, wow, price taking a dive. Where's that? Because no, she's running down. So there it hit that 236. If it break, I can tell you this much. If price breaks this area right here, 9100, 9200, it's really going to take a nosedive. And if you look at the daily time frame, the daily it's still heavy green in the money flow. Price is trying to work its way down. It got rejected off of the 50 in this EMA. But whenever you cut like this one, the money flow is getting ready to cross into the red. But my thing is the RSI is so far pinched down. Same thing with the 3-hour. It should be crossing into the, yeah, it just recently crossed into the red money flow. But all these RSIs are so far down that I don't think that it's going to come down too much further. What's the pre-markets doing? Well, wow. Pre-market trading don't look good for the Dow, and you started buying at 15K. I think I made my first Bitcoin purchase at 11.2 or 10.5, and I've dollar cost averaged into it on the way down. So I understand. I mean, if I knew then what I know now, then yeah, I would have waited for, 3,500 or 5,500 or something like that. But I don't plan on, a lot of people want to swap in and out their Bitcoin. I just don't. I don't want to deal with the headache. I'd rather just, like with Bitcoin, I have no issues with hodling it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's a bad way to look at it. But I promise you, if we take a huge dump, that I will be scooping up more coins that are just sitting on Coinbase. Everything that I bought on Coinbase, whenever we hit the dip in March, every single thing that I bought on Coinbase is up almost 100%. So everything I bought right here throughout all this has increased in value. Let's go look at ZIL. And everybody always says you should look at them compared to in Bitcoin comparative. So that's at 2 cents. I just like looking at compared to dollars. So ZIL, to be honest with you, I think it's ready to come down on a daily, looking at a daily chart. Now it'll have to fight down through all of this heavy money flow. Um, but it was way over. I don't want to say oversold, but it was ready to be sold or way overbought. But when you get up into this bullish control zone, if you stay in it, price can keep pumping until such time as you fully and formally fall out of it. Let's see, DGB. Now, with all of that being said, if Bitcoin takes a crap, everything is coming down. Digibyte is a little harder on the daily to get a read on. It got rejected off the bearish zone, and now looks like it's getting rejected off the bullish zone. So that one's kind of more up in the air to me. When was this? It's been going sideways. What I would do if you own this coin is I would load your MACD and watch the MACD histogram. And if the MACD histogram starts to come down on itself and goes beneath the 0 line, then at that point I would consider selling it. Let's see. You had BTC and lost it leverage trading. Yeah. It can get you if you don't manage your risk. That's why I did the video on this calculator about managing your risk or whatnot. As a matter of fact, even when I'm playing with new strategies, you see I have $10 in here because when I play with new strategies, I'm gonna play with the new strategies with $10. But you can adjust your wherever you're holding your stop loss, and it'll give you how much leverage and how many contracts to use. So if you go back and review that video that I did, I think that it will help you a lot. Okay, so that means that on that chart we are dumping hard. Where's it at? Let's see. Charts. Yep. And see, this 618 right here, Coob, you asked me about it earlier. This is a standard fib right here. So it's trying to punch. It has punched through that fib. That's on a longer time frame. We could be looking at the dump we've all been looking for. Yeah, man. I bet that if you sell in order to buy again at a cheaper price, it will go up, and that's kind of my thing. I am looking at some strategies to maybe do it on a higher time frame, maybe like a weekly time frame or monthly time frame. But other than that, I don't think it's worth me playing with it on even a daily. Just a question: is it possible like a coin to vanish or be deleted? I don't know how to say. I mean, close or be gone, like XRP or Chainlink, etc. Any coin. Do you mean for the value to go to 0? It's possible for it is very possible for the various companies to not be solvent anymore. It's possible for them to close up shop. It's possible for them to take any money that's invested in it and run and not do any more development. So yeah, it is possible, and that's why, yeah, it's possible for it to be gone forever. There are coins now that there's coins that were around in 2017, from what I understand, that no longer exist now. And that is an issue that some people have with Coin Market Cap's website, is that those coins are still listed even though they no longer exist. And that is where doing your own research and you have to approach any of this with a healthy air of skepticism. And never, ever, ever risk money that you can't afford to lose. Something that I say over and over and over again is that if it's not money that you're willing to lose at a poker table or a dog track or wherever else you might just throw hundreds of dollars away at a time, then you shouldn't be risking it in crypto. It should not be your mortgage payment. It should not be your house payment. It should not be any of that stuff. You know what? That web page never reloaded. Let me scroll back up through this, make sure nobody else was censored. Hey Coop, do me a favor and say your favorite 4-letter word so that I can see if that went through. What do I think about ICX Icon? No clue about ICX Icon. Never heard of it. $93.48. Let's see. Which chart? Let's see what's happening here. Let's drop down to a lower time frame. Okay, so the real use case, and I was having this conversation, trying to have this conversation with somebody else. I do believe that there's real use case of projects by the government. I've even pulled it up in it. Wow. Look at there. She said dump, but then she said, I'm coming right back. And there you go. It bounced off right here. Wow, that just wrecked a bunch of people. See what it does off. Let's see what it does off this 0.50 right here. Or if it retests the bottom of that trend line. Nope, it did not work, Coop. But there you go. Let's see if I can. I'm still working on getting rid of this stuff. I told it to replace bad words. Let's try that. Anonymize names containing bad words. I'm going to get rid of that. Let's save these settings and see what happens. Alright, that should work. Go ahead and try it again, Coop. Yeah, so there are projects that are out there that do have real world use case by governments, and there are governments out there looking to use cryptos, whether they be state, local. It still didn't work. Alright, I'm gonna have to work on that at a later date. Maybe it won't change the settings while I'm inside the live stream. I was trying. But the font size, I think the font size changed. So just out of curiosity, does anybody see anywhere around their chat? I've never done it in, actually I can look at it on this screen. I've never done it before. So, well, I don't want somebody getting censored just for saying the seven words like George Carlin would say. I have my streams marked not for kids, so if people come in and they're offended by shit or fuck or damn or whatever, then they need to go on. To be honest with you, I'm my mentality is a lot like Crow's, and you know if I ever get on a rant, I rant just like he does. MG, what what governments what government has adopted Icon, and what does it do? Wow. So what do we think it? Let's see. What do I think price is gonna do? I think it's gonna go down further. It's gonna pop up a little bit, and I think it'll go down a little further. It's gonna try downside again. But yeah, talking about government use cases and real world use cases, like I said, I was having that conversation. Some some people believe that the government won't adopt a given cryptocurrency project that's already out there, or chain that's already out there. However, there are cases where, for example, like Beef Chain is already. I was doing some research on Beef Chain the other day. In Beef Chain, let's pop this up real quick. Just quick. No, I want to do it in pre-search. Pre-search. Oh, I don't have it on this one. Let's make sure this one does DuckDuckGo. And let's do Beef Chain. So, Beef Chain, here's a Forbes article on it. Then there was something from the FDA, NPR. Where did I find that? But basically, what Beef Chain does is it verifies beef and sheep, like where were they born, what medications were they given, what feed were they were given, and it doesn't only stay in Wyoming. If a cow is shipped from Wyoming to, say, California, and it's part of this program, all that stuff goes with it, and it's on the blockchain, and the records can't be changed. So this is a case where something is being adopted, and I had just saw FDA. Let's look here. Beefchain.com, Forbes. Was it in here? It wasn't this, but I actually pulled the actual certification from the FDA, where the FDA says that this particular blockchain company is valid, and their process is certified by the FDA to be accepted. A faltering week for the markets, yeah. And none of this, all of this is just opinions. None of it's financial advice or anything. It's just all of our opinions. Another company that I know that's working with even the Department of Homeland Security and the FDA or whatever is Morpheus. I think that's how you spell it. Morpheus Crypto. It's another supply chain network. And they actually have supply chain stuff going on, more than just like in beef or whatever. Morpheus disrupting global supply, backed by industry experts. Smart contract security focus. Let's see. Yeah, food supply chain optimization. I haven't looked at this in a while, so I'm just kind of scanning through it real quick. So they're integrating legacy and emerging technologies, e.g., blockchain and RFID. Just a supply chain thing, and that's the thing. That's where blockchain technology comes in. Is once it's on the blockchain, it can't be changed. So if an avocado is grown in Mexico and a certain fertilizer is used on it, it's on the blockchain. And with all the I personally feel that there is a need for these types of things, for the simple fact that all the times that we have all these outbreaks of salmonella and whatever other foodborne illness, you can immediately go to wherever that food was purchased and figure out why. A lot of these companies that are doing this also, say you are building a car. As soon as a car is sold, it can trigger a chain of events to go ahead and buy and or pay people that made the parts to build that car. You can buy more parts for building that car all automatically without somebody having to hit a switch. Hey Coob, yeah, you too, man. Thanks for stopping in. I don't think that I'm going to be on. I might go another 20-30 minutes or something. The live streams I want to kind of keep underneath 2 hours or whatever. A lot of it just depends on crowd participation. Let's see, not that chart. Let's go. Oh, wow. There's the dreaded death mall. We got it. We got us a doji going here. Like I said, I was wondering if it was going to come back up and test this line. So now the question would be: is it going to keep going, or is it going to drop? So that's actually testing the bottom of my uptrending 382 fib. That can get ugly if it can't break back through it. So yes, MG. I do think that there is use cases for governments to adopt blockchain. But here's another case. And I haven't looked deep to see what they have accepted. Um, but here, if you go into search and you say blockchain, the Department of Florida. Actually, let me look at some of these other links real quick, see what it says. Application, blockchain technology, Florida House 2019, CFO. Search results, DeSantos, services. Okay, Florida Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles Executive Director Terry Rhodes to the block. Okay, they appointed him to the blockchain task force. I need to look deeper into this one, but they had created a blockchain task force to identify areas or projects or whatever that can help them streamline things in Florida. I wonder what recommendations they made and what has came out of it. But I gotta look deeper into that. So what's everybody else up to today? So 93 and the CME gap was at what, 90, 95? This will be interesting. Let's go back. Let's make that auto. I feel like something I've done with my chart makes the candles look bigger than what they always were. $9,400. So yeah, looks like it's actually going to try to, yep, it's going to try to pop up and fill this gap. See, the lower the chart you come on, the higher the gap is. And you never know on the gaps. I've seen times where it takes them a week to fill the gap. I've seen times where it takes them a day. I've seen times where it takes them 3 days. So never, ever, ever make your trade just based off the gap. But once it heads that way, there's generally it's generally going to go ahead and fill it up. And that one was so close that I had a feeling that it was going to fill. Question is what is price going to do afterwards? Also, for anybody that's in here, I am working on getting codes for Prime, discount codes for anybody that might want to uh, use Prime XBT. But one of the cool things is, you know, you're trading your Bitcoin. Be careful because it is always 100x. But you can trade against the S&P 500, gold, euro, a lot of other items in there. And I plan on doing videos in the future about the Prime platform, as well as Bybit. She's driving for it. Gold up, oil's coming down. What's oil look like? I haven't looked at oil in a while. Oil's got a big gap on it. Oil might get back up to 36. What's the indicator say? Ew. Not short term. What's the Dow look like on the daily? We might have a down week coming. And this is where things get interesting, because when you look at one time frame, for example, in this case the weekly, it's heading up. Everything's wanting to head up. Money's still flowing into it. But if you look at it on the daily, and this is where you tend to get some sideways action. If you look at it on the daily, it's wanting to head down. Does anybody else have any other questions out there, or just want to shoot the breeze about any given thing? Let's see what MG's ICX icon. Icon Crypto, Icon Foundation. White paper wallet. I have to look a little deeper into it just to see what it is. English. Decentralized exchange. Speaking of decentralized exchange, I came across a decent one um, the other day that I'm going to possibly do a review on it, where there's no KYC. It connects to your wallet. Um, it was pretty interesting. Somebody else showed it to me. Price is trying to pop back up. It's almost filled. Let's look at it that way. Interesting. Oh no, that was the down. Went down. There should be the up right there. Got a battle going on. Well, it kind of looks like well, somebody else new just came in. If anybody's got any questions. Something else that I'm working on my charts, just to kind of throw this out there, is to be able to, I've got all these panes here, and something that I'm thinking about, for example, this chart can get cluttered with all the fibs on it. So what I'm thinking about is in this particular chart here, for example, is to take this chart. Now, as you can see on this chart, I have all my moving averages on. And to make one chart, say a moving average chart, so that I can come and take a quick glance at it. If I turn off, oh, no, not that button. If I turn off my synchronizations on my drawings, let's say I want this to be my moving average chart, I can actually take and delete, should be able to delete fibs off of this chart to kind of clean this chart up. And if you notice, the candle colors are different because I haven't changed them on this chart yet. But let's say you wanted to delete all the drawing tools off of this particular chart that you don't want on here. Whenever I go back out to my main chart, since I don't have the drawing tools synced up here, as you can see, I unsynced the drawing tools. Want that on auto, and then make that small. Let's see. Well, shit. Looks like it did take them off all the charts, but I think that there's a way that you can go in. Maybe it's when you draw them that you have to have that turned off. Okay, so they're back on this chart. Where'd they go? I have to go in and draw it and play with it. But it's something that I'm playing with. I know you can have different indicators on different charts. So that I don't have this one all cluttered up with, my VWAP and all this stuff and make it look super cluttered. I can have a separate chart. She's stalling out a little bit right underneath that trend line. I still expect it to pop back up through it. But it looks like and sounds like most of y'all are just kind of hanging out in the background, not saying much. So my main reason for jumping on was one, CME was about to open. Two, I wanted to do some test settings as far as my live streams go. And I appreciate everybody for showing up. So I think I'm going to go ahead and kind of calling into it. I appreciate everybody for showing up that came in. And for those of you that were new subscribers, I really appreciate it. If you have anything that you want me to look into or want to talk about in another live stream, just go ahead and pop it into the comments below. I still have to do a video on adding alerts and alarms and things of that nature. I think somebody wanted that a little while back. But I'm going to get back to a mix of videos. I don't want it to just be about buy it out or just to be about a given coin. I want to kind of mix everything up. I want to, go through various technologies and things, just kind of give you my opinion on what they are. Not a ton of TA, but we can always look at, a little bit of the charts and see what's going on. But try to get back to just basic how-tos and what-tos and how to do this and that. So thank you everybody for showing up. And I am going to go ahead and call this the end of the stream. And I'll see y'all. I plan on my next video being on Tuesday, probably Tuesday evening. Thank you everybody. Bye-bye.